Just a quick intro to the video. I have re-uploaded this because I messed up the audio the first time, but thank you for everyone for pointing it out, and hopefully you can enjoy this better version of the video. I hope you enjoyed this remastered version of the Chelsea team guide. Enjoy. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going back to doing a team guide, and this time we're going back to London as well, where we're going to be looking at Chelsea. Now of course, Chelsea did spend quite a lot of money last summer, and while these signings might not have fully paid off, there is still room for improvement and you can still use these signings in your improved squad. So as always, I'll put the spreadsheet on the screen right now and you'll be able to see what I can see while I'm doing this quick analysis of the squad. I'll suggest some transfers for the weak areas towards the end of the video, so stick around if you are planning on doing this save. Awesome, let's get started. So the best player is of course N'Golo Kante. It's undeniable, he's probably the best central defensive midfielder in the world, definitely in the top 3, so he'll be part of your team no matter who else you sign. The next best 4 players were all signed last summer: Thiago Silva, Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner and Kai Havertz, and they've all got mixed potentials and mixed abilities. Of course they're all really good on FIFA. In real life, maybe you could debate how good they are, but in FIFA, if you manage to develop Kai Havertz to the potential that he starts with, he's going to be the best central attacking midfielder on the game. There's not really any other standout players that are super bad or super good throughout the rest of the squad, so we're going to move straight onto the positions. So goalkeeper is a weak point for Chelsea. I think any Chelsea fan would probably agree with this. Edouard Mendy hasn't been too bad this season, but Kepa, even though he's the most expensive goalkeeper of all time, probably will not be at the club for too much longer. He's 25 years old, and despite that he only has 4 more growth potential, going from a 79 up to an 83. Your third choice goalkeeper is the experienced Willy Caballero, but at 38 you probably won't get more than 1 season out of him on FIFA. You might need to get a goalkeeper, but it's totally up to you if you do use much of your budget on them, but I'll give you a suggestion at the end of the video. Left back, you also have recent signing Ben Chilwell, who is a decent first choice option, and behind him you have Emerson, who is a nice backup really for Premier League level teams. So I wouldn't recommend you buy anyone at left back really that urgently. Central defence is another well-stocked position, especially if you manage to recall Tomori from his loan at AC Milan. You'll have a lot of potential, a lot of athletic players and a lot of very good players on FIFA playing as centre back for you. So again, not a position I'd really worry about. And you could probably say the same about right back too. You have Reece James and you have Cesar Azpilicueta, and despite Azpilicueta maybe not being the best FIFA right back, Reece James definitely is. With his potential being 86, if he does reach this, he'll probably be the best right back on the game for physicality, so definitely stick with him and maybe consider buying a backup when Azpilicueta decides to retire. The Chelsea squad doesn't have a left mid, so we're going to skip that, but defensive midfielder you only have the single N'Golo Kante. There are a couple of others in the team that can play there, but there's not really anyone who's a specialist. Moving forward to some of the players who can play defensive midfield, you have central midfielders Kovacic and Jorginho, who both have bits of their game that probably aren't so suited to central defensive midfielder. So I'll suggest a backup here for when Kante starts to age in 1 or 2 seasons. A central attacking midfield, again you've got quite a lot of good choices. Ziyech and Havertz were both bought last season, and Mason Mount has really shown that he has a lot of talent this season, so I wouldn't recommend you buy anyone there. Left and right wing are very threadbare, you only have 1 of each. At left wing you have Christian Pulisic, who's got potential to be really good, and the same on the right wing with Callum Hudson-Odoi, but you're going to have to wait a couple of seasons for them to really be the sort of level of a Mane or a Salah. So I'll suggest someone who can play at left and right wing just to cover both of the positions while these players develop. As striker, you're pretty well covered. Timo Werner is really good on FIFA, even if he's not really done it this year. Olivier Giroud is a totally different option, and he's still not too bad, even though he's 33 years old. And Tammy Abraham is a 6'3", pretty good poacher, and he might not be so good on the ball, but he's definitely got the physique. So what we need to look for is a goalkeeper, we need to look for a backup central defensive midfielder, we need to look for 2 wingers or 1 who can play on both sides, and that's about it really. Maybe another central midfielder if you're looking for a bit more cover. So let's get straight into it with the wingers. Recently, there's been quite a lot of different players that have been linked with Chelsea up front. Some very big names too, so Dybala has been linked there, Harry Kane, which is very unlikely, Sergio Aguero too, and most recently Romelu Lukaku. As well as these four, there's the players that have been linked with every team ever in the last couple of years, so that's Haaland and Sancho, both linked with Chelsea. So there really is a lot of movement and a lot of proof that Chelsea are looking to further improve their forward line. If we're looking strictly for someone who can play left and right wing, then of course from these names, Jadon Sancho is the standout player. Dybala can also play left wing, he might struggle on the right, but yeah, I would advise going for either of them. They're both pretty versatile, they'll both be massive signings, and they'll both cost quite a lot of money, so you might have to do something Chelsea are looking to do in real life, which is cash in on Tammy Abraham. They're looking to get around £40 million for him, and if they can get that kind of money, they would probably spend big on their winger. Further back, if you do decide to spend big on a winger, you might not have too much money to strengthen your defensive midfield. But again, like I mentioned, you do have a fairly versatile set of midfielders already, with Jorginho and Kovacic both being able to play defensive midfielder. If you do prefer to strengthen your midfield, you should go for someone like Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, who seems like he was pretty much built to play in the Premier League. He's 25 years old, 6'3", strong, decent pace, good on the ball, good at heading, good at passing, and good at shooting. He basically sounds like a taller version of Frank Lampard. A much cheaper option would be Julian Weigel, who played under Thomas Tuchel at Borussia Dortmund and actually was a key part of the squad that had people like Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan, Royce, Gundogan all at their peak. He plays in a similar way to Jorginho. He likes getting the ball deep and progressing it forwards at pace, so if you weren't to play this way, maybe having Jorginho and Weigel at the base of a 4-2-3-1 would mean you had a nice progressive midfield getting the ball up to the more attacking players that Chelsea already have. You'll need two defensive midfielders to try and cover the goalkeeper situation, which we're going to talk about quickly now. There's been a lot of names thrown around who Chelsea might be looking at, with the likes of Donnarumma, Castells, Sommer, and even Gregor Kobel from Stuttgart, who would be a decent high potential backup to whoever you pick. But we're going to have to probably suggest you go for Donnarumma. He's been the most heavily linked, and he's the best of the bunch. So if you have any spare cash, go for Donnarumma. If not, go for Kobel and develop him to be better than Mendy or Kepa. So that's my guide on who you should sign for Chelsea on FIFA. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you're a Chelsea fan watching this, then please do let me know how I did. Of course, my analysis won't be perfect, so you'll probably have a better view on how the squad should be improved yourself. If you're not a Chelsea fan and you have done a career mode, let us know who you had that was fun and you enjoyed using. And yeah, just put that in the comments below, and I'm sure everyone would love to hear that. If you have any suggestions for any of the positions I've mentioned in this video, winger or central defensive midfielder, goalkeeper, anything really, let us know as well, because it's always useful to have another set of eyes on something. But anyway, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more squad guides, press the subscribe button, and if you like the video, press the like button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.